There's one last thing I want to talk about from the Bills-Ravens game. And I hadn't really thought about it until right now. By the time that game starts, they'll know whether or not the winner goes to Kansas City or the winner stays home against the Texans. And that is going to be a massive factor. And we all just assume the winner goes to Kansas City. But, man, if the Texans, who were not blown off the field by the Chiefs 4 weeks ago, that Saturday afternoon game before the Christmas Day games 4 days later, it was 17-16 after the Tank Dell touchdown catch and the horrible knee injury that kind of changed the vibe, I think, for the Texans. Texans were in it. And the Chiefs are in danger, it seems like, in every game. If the Texans should upset the Chiefs, that will feel like the Ravens-Bills game will feel like a Super Bowl berth game because winner is at home and Houston has to come to them. And, yeah, you can't take the Texans lightly if they somehow beat the Chiefs. But the Chiefs aren't a juggernaut this year, even though their record was great. The juggernauts in the AFC are the Bills and the Ravens. So that's where this gets weird. Because if the Texans should win, the pressure is going to be even higher because you have the Super Bowl in your grasp in that game against your rival Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, depending upon which team you're on. So yeah, I don't think we focused on that, but we should.
And for me, Mike, that's something as a player that you pay attention to, but to me, it just doesn't affect me like that because I'm so focused on the game that I have to go out there and take care of business. I'm not worried about the Texans. I'm not worried about Kansas City. That'll take care of itself. I have to worry about the here and now. I have to worry about stopping Josh Allen. I have to worry about stopping Lamar Jackson. Those are the things that concern me right here. So you hear a term in college and in the pros that these coaches always talk to these guys about and said, be where your feet are at. Be where your feet are at. So don't worry about where Kansas City and the Texans are doing. All that stuff is going to come up and you'll deal with that in a week or so. But at the end of the day, just hone in and focus. And that's what it comes down to. You're playing the number 2 seed in Buffalo. Buffalo doesn't have a lot of great wide receivers, anything like that. But Josh Allen finds a way to get it done. This is a well-coached team. They got a lot of veterans on the defensive side of the ball. This is not going to be easy. It's going to be a different game for the Ravens to go in there and try to beat this team a second time. We were there. We understand the environment and how well they play. And, Mike, I'm telling you, if it's snow, if it's 4 or 5 inches of snow, that can have a profound effect on the Baltimore Ravens, and it wouldn't surprise me if they struggle.
Let me just add this one last point, though, because what will happen is the Texans-Chiefs game begins at 4:30 on Saturday. So as the teams are at their hotels in Buffalo, having their meetings, having their meal, word's going to get around if the Texans shock the world and beat the Chiefs. And they're going to process that, and they're going to talk about it, and they're going to understand the stakes now. We win this game, we host the AFC Championship. We'll know that much. Against a team in the Texans that, a week ago, Rex Ryan saying the Chargers have a bye week by playing the Texans in the wild card round. And the Texans will have earned more respect, even more, if they should beat the Chiefs, but the Texans are still going to be viewed as the Texans. They have to come play in a cold stadium for the AFC Championship. It changes the dynamics going into the game.
You know what it does?
If you're facing the Texans versus the Chiefs.
What it does as a player, you say, you know what? We good, fellas. We win this game. We're at home. That gives you a little added boost, a little added motivation. Just say, hey, man, we're good. We win this game. We're at home next week. That's what it does. And you're spot on. That's exactly what it does. You think about it as a player, you receive it, and you say, wow, you understand the benefit of it, and then you just kind of erase it. But you always have that in the back of your mind, which is a big driving force for you to win that game.
Yeah, we win the game. We'll be at home. We'll be favored, and let's hope Rex Ryan shuts his big fat mouth and doesn't talk about how we have a bye week to the Super Bowl and gets the Texans all fired up so they come in and beat us. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.